Destroy! Destroy, Peacemaker! I'm wearing the evil Superman shirt because we are in the evil universe. It has been revealed. Episode 7. We are in Earth X, or as James Gunn has called it, Earth 2. Where the Nazis have won the war, and is immediately hilarious because they pick up from where he looked at the flag, and she goes, "You didn't notice?" And he's like, "No, you didn't notice everybody's, there's no minorities here." He's like, "No." And she's like, "What about Mein Kampf on everybody's desk?" Somebody cleverly pointed this out like a week ago, that there's these red books, but you couldn't see them. And so Mein Kampf, Hitler, the fucking Hitler playbook right there. And he's like, "No, I don't. You think these muscles come when you read books?" And I was like, okay, you might have a point there, in a dumb kind of way. And then she goes, "Yeah, what about the fucking mural right here?"
How did I miss that?
And in classic,
Thought
joke.
it was Charlie Chaplin.
Dude, that would have been hilarious. And he was like, "I thought it was Charlie Chaplin." Obviously a Hitler mural. He's just dumb. He ignored it.
Yeah, I think he was
a joke.
majority of the time he was just focused. He's like narrowing down on the girlfriend. It's like just looking at that, just head down all the time. And
of course, so they try to arrest him. They run and punch people. He uses a jetpack hilariously to slam into the car. She's like, "What the fuck, Chris?" He's like, "It's not tuned for two people." So they escape. Meanwhile, AngryJoe is running from all the white people who's trying to kill her and get her. And I was like, what are they doing here? Because she jumps into the water. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I was like, that was stupid.
I was like, look,
they just run around.
I know. It's like, how could you do a faster swimming?
Yeah.
What was she doing? Maybe that was their plan. No, that's not fucking plan.
No.
But it's so the writers can write. It was like the only thing that I was like, but I'll allow it because it's a good joke later on. Judo Master shows up, so it turns out that Judo Master did follow Chris through. Did look at the I don't think he knows the number. He asked if they knew the number so he can get back out. But he managed to get through the doors before Chris would close them. And followed him through, and then basically
ends up saving her, as we expected.
Well, you would think that Chris would close the door behind him when he went into the Hitler universe. That doesn't quite make sense, but whatever. So Judo then hits the water with the electricity and kills them all. And I guess they're Nazis, so fuck them, they're dead, and don't care. And then she gets saved. He pulls out of the water, and then later on he's like, "That's the most kills I've ever got." Using an electric telephone pole in a pool, and she's like, "What? What's the other account?" He's like, "Oh, it was only 4." I said, "You did that before." So another good joke there, and it's just basically, and then Judo Master and AngryJoe bond in this episode as they wait for night to return, because both of them are not very welcome in this particular. They're minorities, and you don't want to be everything I am, is what Judo Master says in this universe. And she's like, "Jesus Christ," and he's like, "Oh no, they love him here," and it really goes to show, how cruel people can be despite following Jesus Christ's teachings, and that was true for the Nazis. It was true for current times and stuff. It's sad. They just point that out. Meanwhile, he gets on his fucking Peacemaker motorcycle, sets off, and he's like, "I gotta keep this," because he wants to keep the bike. Oh, but he doesn't end up keeping the Peacemaker motorcycle. Maybe Keith will come through the fucking portal on the cycle to come kill him or something. But why don't y'all take over for kind of how the rest of this goes?
Oh, good.
At the end, the police
we're at the middle,
so police pull them over, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to kill you." And then his this world's dad and brother murder all the police, and they said, like, "You got to come with me or you're going to die."
At first I was like, what the fuck? I was like, are they actually Sons of Liberty? Why did they kill all the police?
Because of the portal.
Well, yeah,
they don't want to make. They want to make sure no one knows about the fucking portal.
Yeah, and it's hinted that they're not evil. They're just like, look, we're doing the best we can in this fucked up world.
His
brother
is,
might buy into the
dad
shit
knows,
more than the dad.
Yeah,
they haven't like really fleshed that out. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit more of that if they've hinted at some stuff.
Yeah.
But then they go back to the house and then they kind of just say like, look, how many people are you here? Oh, what happened to our Chris? And they kind of give him the rundown of everything that's kind of happened.
Accident.
Yeah,
it's a good interrogation scene here.
Yeah.
Brother is not having it. He's freaking out. He's like, no, you killed my brother. And, he's like, oh, it was an accident. It was self-defense kind of thing. And he's mad. He's real mad.
Yeah, the dad said also, too, he's like, look, I love Chris, but he was out of control. The drugs, the violence. Like, he was out of control.
He kind of knew his son was a piece of shit, so he's kind of okay with it. And his son's right there,
and he believes him, too. He's like, he had a gun on me.
And
like,
this is interesting because it's like, oh, shit, he is the reverse. He might have a good heart deep inside and not necessarily be racist. And he said, she's like, you're a Nazi. And he's like, don't call me that. I'm not a Nazi. I just deal with shit in front of me. Even though, and if he says, I fight one monster at a time, well, then you'd be in the Sons of Liberty and you'd be fighting against Hitler and the rest of them. But whatever, he's just doing the best he can in that particular thing and protecting people essentially is what he's doing. So he may not be full on fucking evil. Right then the cops knock on his fucking door and we got a season 1 character and they're like, this thing happened, we got to get in your house. He's like, you're in my house? He basically tells them to fuck off, and it works. A little bit of intimidation. I was thinking, man, if this is truly a fascist regime and the cops would just fucking slam right in. I mean, cops already break into people's houses without fucking warrants now, so it's like
bullshit. But those guys have suits. You don't want to. You kick open that front door. You're
right.
You end up fucking. You turn you into tomato paste.
Superpowers, right? Yeah. Right. Oh, okay? You're gonna enter,
Mr. Evil Superman. Can we illegally search your house? No. All right.
Castle doctrine and just go and start killing all the police. But they said, no, all right, we're going to go get the warrant and we'll be right back. You're only delaying the inevitable. Meanwhile, you got Adebayo showing up with Judo Master, showing up with both vigilantes, which are fucking awesome, by the way. I love both vigilantes. And one vigilante's like, man, we got to go. Like, if your friend is black, we need to go now. And so he has a good heart.
Yeah, what do you mean, kind of? He's like, yeah, she's kind of. What do you mean, kind of?
Yeah, he's actually kind of shocked at our version of vigilante, which is kind of a piece of shit. He's like, wait, you kill people for graffiti? All right. Because in his world, he's fighting for actual fucking human beings.
Okay.
It's not the same thing.
False equivalence is so hot right now.
Yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to mention here, I think they're pulling a switcheroo. What do you think?
I mean, they could. They purposely show that they didn't do a switcheroo.
Did they?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He gets shot in the arm, and then the one who rescues the one that gets shot in the arm is for the Sons of Liberty. Mm-hmm. But that's totally. It's a James Gunn thing.
I didn't notice that.
He could totally do something where they switch. So,
that's what I was thinking.
I thought it would be like, hey, Adebayo. Guess which one I am. Something like that.
They were kind of hinting at that, too. That's what I was thinking. But he got shot. It's like, oh, Adrian. And he was shooting. Yeah. And he
said, so you don't think it is ours?
Because he's doing backflips.
No, I just think that's what they showed. Okay. But I don't. Because
they could still do something.
This is we talked about when this first season came out. Is I don't like multiverse horseshit because they set shit up like this. And it's just like, it could be whatever. And I don't.
I think it's interesting. I think it's cool. I like the fucking kickflip that he does to knock the door closed and be the hero and kind of save people. But yeah, the cops knock on the door. He tells them to fuck off. But the problem is when Blue Vigilante is kind of giving his speech where it's like, look, dude, I help people, and we're starting to realize maybe he's a good guy. He does seem to legitimately want to let them go without killing them, without capturing them, without giving them up to the fascist regime or anything like that. Of course, as Alex was saying, the brother ain't having it because he's fucking pissed off. But before he could do that, motherfucking Vigilante bursts in and just immediately goes for his weak spot. Hey, look. I don't blame him because he's like, he didn't know he's a villain. He could just start fucking killing them right there. And he even says, and his line was, but he had Economos tied up. Vigilante just trying to throw his shit. If you jaywalk, Vigilante is going to kill your ass. And if you're in a fucking kidnap situation, it makes sense in his brain. So, but that's before Chris can, say anything and stop him. So his dad is dead. His second dad is dead. His alternate universe dad is dead.
First real father figure. I mean, that's what they're setting up here. It's like he's a good guy. He's like, look, this Chris seems like a good one. He constantly talks about loving his sons, and so it's like his first exposure to like a father figure that it looks like his father, and then immediately it's taken away from him.
I really like the lines too when he's talking privately with his son Keith. He's like, look, we got a problem here. It's like, I didn't tell you boys about this, but I met an alternate version of me in the other universe. There was something dark about him. There was something cruel about him. And so, it's like, okay, so this is the good version, but that's the bad version.
Yeah.
Yet you are kind of cruel if you're participating in the fascist regime and oppressing others, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Ultimately, deep down, it doesn't matter. He motherfucking dead. Confirmed dead. He died, and that causes Keith to lose it. Uses his rockets. As the people are escaping, the cops burst in at the same time when they see Keith, start firing, and they're like, "Oh, that's probable cause to fucking go in there."
Yeah.
And then vigilantes are fucking sweet. But not that character from season 1 would be totally dead. Vigilantes aim, and you have 2 vigilantes firing, and he's leading the charge. They said that he leaped out of the way. No, that guy's dead. But no, he survives. A bunch of cops take bullets though, and as they're retreating though. Motherfucking
Keith gets fucking pissed, and
I think his name is actually Triumph. And when you think about Triumph, it's like, there's a book, I think.
Yeah, Captain
Triumph of the Will or something like that in Nazi lore or whatever. So he bursts through the wall and he's like attacking Chris for killing obviously his brother and father now. And the 11th Street kids, they do a little slow-mo. They attack Keith, and it's like they're protecting Chris, so I get it. And then even Judo Master jumps in, but then Chris just lets out that kind of, he's just emotional. It's like an emotional blood curdling scream. And he's just like, stop. And I felt it. I was like, damn, man, this is crazy. And he runs over to his brother, and then the immediate sides just melt away, and we realize, what the fuck are we doing, man? It's happening here too. Like, just like the rhetoric is just so fucking high on either side. It's all tribalism and bullshit, but these are like human beings. And in this case, family. Like, why are we fucking doing all this stuff? We got to talk to each other. We got to fucking bring this shit down. And the show, depicts this pretty well. And I can't really tell, from Keith's eyes, his acting. That's a good actor. It kind of looked like he was a little surprised, maybe taken aback, but I still think his mind's all fucked up.
He's in shock. He just got attacked by a prime eagle and stabbed, and so he's definitely in shock.
He's full on.
I like that you brought up Prime Eagle. What? Talk about that scene.
Oh, with Economos in this scene, and Eagly's just. Eagly knows English, and Eagly's just fucking with him.
You think so?
That's my headcanon, because it's like, I got a dog, and he's wonderful, but he's a piece of shit. Yeah. And it's like, he knows exactly the words I'm saying to him, and he's just like, no, I'm not going to do it. Nah. And that's Eagly. He's like, hey, get me out of here. Go kill those dudes. And he's like, I brought you a piece of string. And then he's like, let me in. Let me get some more fucking a pimento loaf from the fridge.
Right.
Because Eagly loves bologna.
And Eagly's mind is like, I'm going to bring you some. I'm going to do something for you. Now you got to do something for me. And Eagly does the lowest possible effort. Here's a piece of string. Now give me some food, bitch.
Yeah.
He's like, you incredibly selfish. Fucking motherfucker.
Well, Economos is a piece of shit. He sold out his friends in the very first opportunity. He got himself caught.
He can't help it.
Eagly does not respect Economos.
He didn't make his brain, Alex. I like that excuse to just absolve yourself of all
responsibility. We can't leave you here. Chris is like, well, we can. We can't leave him here. It's like, stop.
Yeah, Economos gets these good jokes throughout. I don't want him to turn into a one note, because he immediately jumped up as some of my favorite characters, because he's kind of in the background. This season, he's funny. I relate with him. He's a cool guy. Also, Adebayo, she really jumped up in priority in this season. I fucking love her. She's great. Anyways, so they escape, but Chris kind of immediately gets arrested by Argos, and he blames himself. He says, hey, all of these people, they came to get me, and here's the thing that you want.
Yeah, it was a super wonderful season finale. No notes. Move on to season 3. We don't need another episode. We wrapped everything up we need to be wrapped up.
No. Well, okay, yeah. So there's some arcs here. The arcs are good, and he says it's all on him. And when he was screaming and crying over his brother's wounded body, he realized finally, it took him so long to get to this point where, and I think it's kind of a flawed interpretation of his life, where he says it's all me. Yeah. It's not your universe. It's not my universe. I'm just fucking cursed. I get why he thinks that, because everybody he loves around him and cares about is fucking dying, except for Harcourt, either Harcourt. And so he just wants to isolate himself from the crew. And so he gets arrested. They throw him in jail. And he's sitting, rotting in jail probably for the rest of his life. So it's like, and then the 11th Street kids, are feeling sorry. And, are they going to break him out? Yeah, that's pretty much the whole episode. There's one episode left, though. And we did see a teaser. I was really surprised at some of the things that we got. Because I was thinking, last time they mentioned these little imps, I think it was Blue Dragon that was talking about little imps or something that he met one time that really freaked him out. I was like, that would be so cool if we see it. I think everyone said in the review, I wish we see it. And it looks like we might be seeing that. But I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? That you're opening up Pandora's box there. I guess it'll maybe be a throwaway joke, but it's like, is there going to be enough time to have a satisfying conclusion if this is going to be the end of Peacemaker? Because I think it's been confirmed that there's no Peacemaker season 3. It's going to end on season 2. And depending on how well it did, maybe in the future they can do it. But as we've been telling you guys, it doesn't seem to be lighting up the charts or anything like that. It would have to be a loss leader decision by WB and HBO, and with all the shit going on behind the scenes there, I don't think they're ready for any loss leading stuff for subscribers. But who knows? Maybe they are, and we would see a season 3. I think chances are low, and we have one episode left to wrap this up in a satisfying way. Yeah. Well, what would be satisfying for... I know what would be satisfying for me. What would be satisfying for you?
Honestly, I kind of wanted this one to have, 2 episodes. Have a season finale for, this kind of thing, how they get out and whatnot.
What is? There's one more?
No.
But we resolved everything in this episode.
It. And now, what are we going to do with the portals and stuff?
Okay, break this one into
I kind of wanted just to stay with the team and do that kind of thing. Like, they're in trouble, they need to get out.
It did feel like we should have spent more time in the Nazi universe and do more action and fighting.
Yeah, because like Alex said, I think if we would have been 2 episodes, it's there would have been a great finale or something like that. But now it's okay, well, now Keith wants revenge, and Rick's got the portal, and he's opening all these crazy worlds. But I don't know.
That seems like season.
It does seem like season 3 stuff. I think what it is we have to resolve Argus and Chris. Because he's now in jail, and you can just end it. He's on jail, and his friends never help him, and then we never see that again. So I assume that what's happening there is that they're going to be like...
They need to break him out or something.
Break him out, and then take that technology away from humanity and destroy it. Because it's like, I think it was Economos is saying, when have we ever done anything good for humanity, or something like that. So, and then you saw some of the fucking doors. We got a preview of the next episode where there's some crazy shit behind the doors. You don't want that technology to just be laying around.
No, but I kind of agree with Alex, but I trust this writing team. This was a great episode. I have full confidence for the next one to be
to not be an alien Earth situation.
It will not drop the ball. I have faith in this one.
I don't know, Joe.
I have faith in this one.
It's very, very difficult these days to have faith. But yeah.
Yeah, I still think this should have been the finale. I think this was, if we had 5 more minutes on this episode where they realized that, they're going to lock up Peacemaker and throw away the key, but you open the door for him to be a valuable asset, because he is a valuable asset. It's setting up, whatever the new Suicide Squad is.
Like a scene at the end.
Yeah, scene at the end where it's like, hey, I got it. And he flagged me, I got a team of fucked up people that he can maybe work with the Creature Command. Tie him in something else. But I don't give a fuck about Rick Flag or the portals or any of the other things that are coming in the next episode. I thought that what I was interested in kind of all ended here. And so he kind of gets the girl. They knew it's not going to be one of those things where they get a white picket fence and live happily ever after. But he got confirmation that she is into him and that she loves him and he loves her.
And so we got to talk about that.
We wrapped that up. We get the fact that these guys they love Chris so much they're willing to go to Nazi town and go save his ass and bring him back. He's able to sacrifice himself to save the people that he loved. So for me, we wrapped up almost everything that I cared about, and so like I don't care about going to Doom World or Flower World or one of these other things. So
I do kind of want a bow. I love the motorcycle scene where she finally rests her head on Chris. And if you ever ridden a motorcycle, you ever had a girl ride on your it is a
you just rode on his back.
Transcendent experience. We just did.
Yeah,
Joe. It was fucking
Borderlands review.
You didn't do that. You didn't do that.
That moment, Joe?
No, you didn't smash.
Did you put?
You smashed your face.
I didn't.
You smashed your face on my back.
You have to hold his hand right there.
But apparently, it transcends universe when you finally get the girl and she rests her head on you, and you just get this feeling of just like, oh, it's just like you're the king of the world. And he has that feeling, and then he wants to protect her, and she even closes her eyes, which this girl never lets herself be vulnerable, and that's showing. She's finally letting herself be vulnerable. So yeah, you're right. That could be just fine, but some people might want a bow. I kind of want a bow.
He sacrificed himself to save her and her whole life. I mean that for me, that's kind of a bow. I never thought that they would have like this. Wonderful, like go off into the sunset type
thing.
Sure,
they're not gonna be perfect, they're gonna have some, but I do want one more episode. But I guess that puts shit in Joe's favor and your favor, where it's like, well, we already had the status, so this is just icing on the cake. All you're giving me is icing on the cake. I do want Alex's 5 more minutes. Hey, we got a new team. There's some fucked up creatures over here. Or, something like that. It's like, you want out? Well, do this. So that does make sense. I like that. And I think that's probably maybe where we'll
You just leave the door open,
like
because it's perfect, because James Gunn gets to leave the door open to a character that he likes, that is played by a friend of his. And if HBO wants to pick up a 3rd season or like put him in something else, they totally can.
I know what's going. I know. Amanda Waller. I think Waller will show up probably at the end. Because I think there were rumored they were going to do the Waller series, but they canceled it or they put it on hold, and they still want to do it. I don't think I would watch a Waller series. I'm not. I didn't say that about Peacemaker. I actually was interested in Peacemaker just because John Cena. I really like John Cena as a wrestler, as a human being, and now he showed off his acting chops quite well here. But I don't know if I'd be interested in a Waller series. But anyways, okay, we'll go get out of there. Let's go. Final verdicts for this episode only.
10. No, almost a 10 if it would have wrapped up perfectly.
If they'd get more fights in the Hitler universe.
I wanted them to kind of have this a 2-parter kind of thing. It would have been better, but I'm gonna go with a 9. I really like the story. I like the acting. Just seeing like John Cena fucking act. Yeah. Seeing the trauma again, like his dad die again and his brother again. Just like very traumatic.
He was having flashbacks.
It was very emotional, man. Yeah. I liked that scene a lot, and the team coming together, just being there for him. I think this is a solid episode.
Yeah, I also agree with 9 out of 10. I mean, the only fault I have is everything was abbreviated, and I'm just like, hey, everything is just going so awesome.
Yes,
all of the pieces are here. We have the time because this isn't on network television where you have to hit 22 minutes. Yeah, you can stretch this out a few extra minutes. You can stretch this up into multiple episodes. You can we can revel in. You have this whole season go through, and we get to these big emotional moments. Like let's live in those moments for a period of time. But James Gunn doesn't like to do that. So 9 out of 10.
Well, I agree, and I think that 9 out of 10 for me too. We've spent so much time with these characters, and I'm invested. I care about them. Shit, I think there's more time with the 11th Street Kids than we had with fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. So I like these characters, and this was a great little resolution. I'm with the boys. I want a little bit more in Earth X, but they could do that for future series, which would annoy Alex because I'm in agreement. I don't really need an invasion or anything like that from Earth X. I'm not interested. I'll borrow Keith. I think it could be interesting if Keith shows up in our universe and he can finally have his brother. If you really want a motherfucking
he's gonna change his way after he killed his brother and his dad.
Yeah, if you want a Cinderella ending, you can get Harcourt and your brother back. that's not going to happen. That would be a season 3 arc where the brother is like, I'm come to kill you. Yeah. And over time he realizes, oh, this world is way better than mine, and I love you, brother. Because they did genuinely, those scenes that they had together where they're talking and toasting and drinking whiskey together and giving each other shit, you could feel the love and great acting. And so I'd be interested in that with some kind of, villain backstory in the background or something like that. If they ever do a season, we could talk more about that in the final episode. So 9 out of 10, 999 across the board.
999.
Look at that.
999. The mural on the wall.
Charlie Chaplin.
Like a Keith in the night. So we have one episode left next week called Full Nelson. I'm not sure what that would refer to. Full Nelson. I don't know. But it is directed by James Gunn. All of them are written by James Gunn, but the last episode,
I'm sure they're going to stick the
Jones
landing. They're going to stick the landing. It's fine.
Do you think it will feel related to the season?
Yeah, I think so. I've got faith. I'm with Joe. I think I have faith in that it will be
it's
much
good writing.
I know it's at least going to be better than motherfucking Alien Earth.
That is what I'm hoping for. Yes,
that's a low bar. We probably shouldn't set that bar that low, but that's what I'm hoping for. And yeah, guys. So for those of y'all who are still watching and enjoying that, thank you very much for continuing to stick with us. And it looks like the evil has essentially been defeated, and we'll see how. And see, very low stakes in comparison to an alien invasion of all of our leaders in butterflies in their heads. This was just a Chris-driven story and his drama and a little cool sci-fi-ish alternate universes. That's just a speckle. It's not out of control like the metaverse in motherfucking MCU. So we'll see how it wraps up next week, and we'll see you, Garrett. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.